I feel like it's so common on the internet these days to just be an obnoxious idiot, and it's encouraged. If you don't believe in empiricism, in evidence, in um, going all the way, going deep, deep diving, um, but instead want to not take anything seriously whatsoever, uh, not respect yourself, not respect those around you, uh, not care about anything, be nihilistic and kind of uh, terminally unserious about everything, refusing to ever stick to one position or have to defend anything, you're considered cool on the internet. Some people call this irony poisoning. Other people call it insincerity. I think it's all of those things, but more than anything, it's anti-intellectual. And um, it's difficult having conversations about art with these people in particular because so much of what I enjoy about art is how it makes me think, how it makes me feel, and then analyzing how it makes me feel. And you don't get that with people like this because even with stuff that they really like, they'll refuse to stand on business and actually attest to the fact that they like those things. They'll oscillate between saying that it's good and saying that it's bad so that they never have to defend their position or explain anything. It's very annoying because you never know what they actually think, and it makes it feel like we're living in completely different worlds, like they're impossible to communicate with. I think this is a thing that men in particular have a lot of trouble with because they don't want to get owned, right? If you stand by your positions and argue for them in a sincere way, you run the risk of getting owned online by someone else, and they have this fear of failure that prevents them from even opening themselves up to that opportunity. But really, that's what it is, an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to have conversations about things which are fruitful. These aren't debates which are meant to be won. It's not like your life or your personhood is on the line, your sense of identity. They're just conversations. And so if you don't articulate yourself well, it's an opportunity to become better at articulating yourself, and moreover, an opportunity to share the things that you love with other people. Even if they don't get it, they don't have to, as long as you do. So, um, I think a lot of people are coming at this from fundamentally the wrong perspective because uh, they're actually putting a lot more weight onto these conversations, and it's leading them to not take the conversations themselves seriously. Like, it's this strange paradox. They're taking them so serious that outwardly, like in terms of their behavior, they don't take it seriously at all. When in reality, no, it's not that serious, and that's why you should have a sincere and larger conversation about these topics instead of just shit posting uh, to hell and back. But people don't want to do that. And this internet culture is very annoying for me. Um, these are negative traits to have. It's a negative way to be. I think being pretentious is also very negative, but for different reasons. Like the assumption that certain things or ideas are inherently better than others, and that people should be judged or looked down on, um, even subtly, is not something I can vibe with. I don't think it's positive. I and I know toxic positivity is a thing as well. It's not like we should move in a toxic positive direction where you're just lying about things in order to avoid conflict. Conflict avoidance is almost never good. We should be confrontational and we should be direct. However, uh, I think we should tune our beliefs in a certain direction, right? Our beliefs should be kind of finely tuned toward a more reasonable, less, how would I say this? Uh, a perspective with less animosity. And that animosity is really the core problem I have with pretentiousness because you don't know all that. You're not all that good, even if you are really good. There's blind spots that you have and ways in which you could be wrong that you may not have guessed. And so it's better to behave with the assumption and to say things with the assumption that you don't have all the facts, that it's just your opinion. And the attempts to impose one's opinion, especially on things as uh, relatively unimportant in the grand scheme of things as art, to impose that onto others, I think is really bad. It's a very negative trait or set of traits to have. But would I take the pretentious person over the anti-intellectual, you know, being dumb is cool person? Oh yeah, for sure. Any day of the week I'd take the pretentious person. Because it's okay to have negative traits. Like we all have negative traits. It's understandable. It's fine. It's not going to, be an impediment to our friendship or something. Um, but I'll see it for what it is. But if you're like unable to have a conversation in the way that uh, the terminally unserious crowd of post-ironic jokesters are, then yeah, that is an impediment to our friendship, and I'm not going to be able to talk to you. Um, so it's pretty clear where I stand on that. Like, at the end of the day, what I value in friendships are conversations, in-depth conversations. Um, I mean, it's other things too. Like a friendship is more than just what your interests are and how you communicate. It's also like more subtle things about a person's aura. As much as I hate that term, their energy, how do I put this? How it coincides with yours, right? In some specific and broad ways, people can be compatible or incompatible. But I really do think that being able to communicate and consistently is one of the most, if not the most important thing. Um, and I can't do that with the never take anything serious crowd. And I've had plenty of these people tell me that I'm too serious or I take things too seriously, even though like 70% of what I say is like jokes. I'll constantly just make jokes, many at my own expense or at the expense of people who align with me or have something to do with me, because I don't think people should take themselves too seriously. But I also don't think that people shouldn't take themselves seriously at all. There's a time and place for both, and that balance is something that many people are missing. It's something that a lot of people have trouble understanding. They go way too far in one direction or the other. It makes them difficult to talk to. But again, I would much rather talk to someone who takes themselves way too seriously and the world way too seriously than somebody who doesn't take anything seriously at all. Me and a person like that would have next to nothing in common. And it's something I've realized throughout my time going through friendships, going through the world, meeting people.